Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Just a minute. Good evening, everyone. And first of all, thank you for giving me again a chance to do a presentation in front of this elite people. And seeing the last time's presentation, there are a lot of people who said, "Ki now you have given decoded the real estate in terms of commercial, residential, and that too in commercial also real shops and offices." And then you have talked about warehouse. But having said that's all the things, what is there in for me? So today's presentation is basically about straightforward thing, generating passive income. So here I'm going to share the opportunity about thing called as real warehouse, where in warehousing there will be a lot of things which are coming up as with the post-COVID scenario. There are a lot of changes which is happening in the real estate industry, and as per the changes what we are seeing here, I would like to share the presentation. So I will just start my presentation. So if you see, this is the last presentation slide, what I have shown. And if you have remembered, I have taken warehousing as a separate presentation, and I have shown that as a warehousing as an investment. So currently, when you talk about warehousing as an investment, so we have discussed about certain points where we have said ki this is the product which has given the highest yield in the current scenario. And if you see the investment, the only thing which here is the investment is very, very high compared to other product. For example, if you are talking about shop, then the investment may be in a tune of 1 crores to 1.5 crores. But here the in warehousing, the investment is basically goes in double digit in terms of 20 CR, 30 CR. So we will see how we can get the opportunity here also in investment. But just to keep the record on straight, this is a place where you can get the highest yield. And if you see the comparison, you can see the yield as 10% plus, which is highest as of now in the current scenario. Now, if you see the size of the Indian market currently, so in 2017, the size of Indian market as far as warehouse is concerned was 1463 billions. Now, currently, it is 2321, and going forward in next 3 years, we will be seeing it is going to be around 3200 billion. So you can see it's a big opportunity which is lying as far as warehouse market is concerned. And I have taken this data from PRR wires also. So you can see the detailed report over there. Now, when you talk about that real warehousing, what is basically the growth drivers and why the demand is there in logistics and warehouse? So we'll just see one by one. So if you see, first of all, GST streamline has happened. So when you talk about GST streamline, so earlier when you were in the CFOM era where the interstate transaction was difficult, so by implementation of GST, that thing has been taken care, and now the things are very, very easy as far as business is concerned across India. Secondly, the growth of e-commerce. This is again a very, very big driving factor as far as logistics and warehousing are concerned. And if you can see, Make in India is something which is now being very, very popular in the recently, but last week we have seen our PM talking about local and vocal and all those things. So this is something where you can see a lot of demand will be generated for local products also. And when the demand is generated and when people will start producing more, they have to keep it somewhere, and the warehouse is the only option. And you can also see there are a lot of tussle going on between China and USA. So the benefit will definitely pass on to India also, and we will see India becoming global supply chain because we have got good connectivity as far as seaports are concerned. And not only one area, we have got 2-3 ports entry point where the goods can be shipped inside India and goods can go outside of India. And lastly, the corporate tax reduction has also happened, and there are certain things also like ease of doing business, electronic manufacturing cluster, and there are a lot of other things. Important, if you see on the right hand side, there is a graph which shows ki what are the different areas and what are the points where the complete warehousing is divided. So if you say 3PL, so this 3PL stands for third party logistics. It basically takes the highest chunk, which is actually good for us as far as from investment point of view. When the third party logistics is managing the warehouses, they are quite professional, they understand this business very well, and their main business is basically accumulating the warehousing and running and operating the warehousing. So as far as warehouse operation is concerned, it's in very safe. And second, if you see, e-commerce is also a very big area where the warehousing takes places. So if you see, these two factors will contribute to a larger size of warehousing, and in post COVID era also, these are the places or these are the business which will go on. Now coming to the current scenario, because the earlier whatever we used to think and whatever we used to say about real estate, all those things has been shattered, especially in last 60 days. If I just want to give an example, earlier people used to say that office space is a safe bet where a lot of multinational companies come, a lot of banks come, and a lot of IT people comes and they acquire a large area. So people used to see them as a safe bet, and people used to invest crores and crores of money, and builder also used to manufacture a complete building which was dedicated to IT. Now see the condition. IT were the first industry who said, let's start working from home. Now understand, just in 60 days, the kind of investment what people have done in real estate has gone for a toss. So this is something, the changes is happening. This is one change that I'm talking about. So there are certain negative changes, there are certain positive impact also as far as real estate industry is concerned. So everybody is talking about negative things. Let's talk something today about the positive thing, and also not only positive, but the thing where we can earn money also. So if you see post-COVID, the game changer will be warehousing. Now, why warehousing? Because FMCG is something which we have seen during lockdown also. We are consuming all the products. So FMCG is something which will going on. E-commerce, since we know that people will be now mostly staying at home. So whatever wholesale supplies earlier company used to take, now will be distributed to a small player. So e-commerce will again play a very major role. Then pharma, everybody is aware that pharma is something which is the future. And lastly, 3PL, which is third party logistics. So these are the growth and driving factor where you can see game changer for as far as warehousing is concerned. And these are the four factors which will actually help in increasing the warehousing. Now I've given a comparison vis-a-vis warehouse and the other real estate assets. Last time I've done a comparison where I have shown the comparison with all the products, but I have not taken anyone as a base. I have just given the comparison. Right now what I have done, I have kept warehouse as one side, and then I've done the comparison. And if you see yield wise, retails and office are the two area where you can see. So in all the places which are basically the important thing as far as yield is concerned, stability is concerned, lease tenure is concerned, and most importantly COVID impact is concerned, if you see in all these areas, clearly warehouse is a number one winner. So last time when we discussed and talked about as a investment option, real estate is a number one winner with compared to gold, silver, then stocks and other items. Now if you see in real estate, warehousing is the one which is a clear cut winner as far as the other aspects of real estate are concerned, that is office and shops, and or you can say retail space. So now having said that, let's come to the interesting thing, and I'm sure most of the people will be knowing this thing, but for the uninitiated people who are not aware, so we are talking here about the fractional ownership. Now this is very interesting concept, and I would give the example again related to COVID only. Pre-COVID, Zoom was in existence from last 5 years. People were aware of the Zoom, and there are certain people who have heard about the webinar also, and they must have attended pre-COVID webinars once or twice in their lifespan. But post-COVID, that scenario has completely changed. Now the webinar or the Zoom is a way of life. In the same way, fractional ownership was always there in real estate, but nobody has used fractional ownership because it was not required. Let's say I will give an example. If you're having 50 lakhs of rupees, so in 50 lakhs, you are having a lot of avenues to invest. Like you have got offices where you can invest, you have got shops where you can invest. Flat is something last, but people used to invest in flat also. But warehousing is something where people will not invest because the money is less. Now, when we understand that we don't have any other option than the warehouse, then the fractional ownerships comes handy, where it is very, very simple thing. A lot of people are here from finance background, they will understand it very clearly. Me being a non-finance background person can explain in a very, very simple way. So it's basically the ownership arrangement where group of people share the cost and use of a property. As simple as that. 4-5 लोगों ने मिलके एक कोई जगह ली है sharing basis पे. Typically each fractional ownership owns a percentage or share of the property and is shown on the title and deed as a owner. So this is very, very important. Though you own a very fractional percentage of the complete property, but still an SPV is created, which I will be talking in the later stage, is created, and your security and everything has been taken care, and your money is safe. You're not giving to any company, you're giving to people whom has been already working in warehouse. Now, what is the advantage of fractional real estate? So first thing, with a small amount of money, you can basically access to institutional grade commercial assets, which are generally not available to individual investors. So you must have seen people who have got 50 crores, 100 crores, or there are a lot of funds which are investing in real estate, in commercial warehouses and other things. So these are the institutional grade commercial assets where the yield is very, very high and the security is high. And most importantly, the tenant has got a very, very long vision as far as leasing is concerned. We'll come to that also. Second is its non-volatile instruments that that compares favorably with gold, fixed deposit, and corporate bonds. As we have discussed, those other ways of investment are volatile, whereas this is something which is non-volatile in nature. And again, if you see, the warehousing investment offers both passive income and long-term capital gain. How, I will explain in a further slide. But these are two things which you have to take care: passive income and long-term capital gain. These are two important things. Most importantly, this is the only asset class that lends itself to portfolio diversification and is superior to residential investment in terms of yield. So what you can do, you can basically invest in multiple products. So for example, 25 lakhs is something where you can invest in one warehouse, and there are other avenues where you can invest in multiple things. So with fractional warehousing, you can basically diversify your risk and diversify your profile also. And if you see, it has got greater liquidity and risk mitigation when compared to traditional real estate investment. Why I am saying this? For a simple reason: when you are investing in shops or office, the investment, since the property has been taken in your name, so liquidating of the complete property sometimes becomes a hassle. Here in fractional ownership, you are owning a fraction, so that fraction can be transferred easily to some other person who are either in the no circle, or you can sell in the open market also. So there are a lot of arrangement which can be done. Now, having said that, let's come to the real thing which we are here today. And I have told in my previous communication that I'll be sharing opportunity as far as warehousing is concerned. So here, as a group, One Earth, we are basically diversifying our portfolio. Earlier, we were not into warehousing, but seeing the condition, we are already into commercial and residential area. But currently, seeing the real estate scenario, we understood that this is the area where we have to be. So once we are guiding and once we are talking to people, so whatever you say, you have to basically do it yourself also. So here is our venture where we will be taking our company to warehousing, where we will not be only, talking to one warehousing. We will be basically tying up with group of people and we will be diversifying our portfolio. So currently I'm talking about one investment opportunity which is there in Bangalore. So if you see, currently in warehousing, we have got a grade 1 warehouse, which is there in near Hosur, and it's basically in the industrial and logistic park, which has got around 2.5 lakh square feet of area, which is basically owned by this particular company. I will share the details. So currently, if you see, the rent yield, what I was talking is 10.2%, 10.12%, which is the highest as far as grade A warehouse is concerned. Now, when we talk about warehousing, there are two kinds of things. One is grade A and grade B. So grade A is simply where the tenant is an organized player and who goes for a long lease of more than 10 years, and he has got a stable warehousing operation, and they are operating in multiple areas of warehousing. That is called as grade A. Grade B is something, it's again in organized sector, but not in a large scale, where the lock-in period is around 3 to 5 years, and the overall tenant has not a big exposure as far as warehousing is concerned. So here the warehouse is located in Hosur. The asset size is around 2.5 lakh square feet. And the most important thing when you talk about the grade A warehouse, so all those things comes in a bundle. So here you can see the project management consultants is Tata Consultancy, and the tenant is Stellar Value Chain. I will talk about more of these two people in the next slide. So again, just to give you an idea, location is near Bangalore, and it is basically in Bangalore only, where the Hosur is the industrial area. It is on the National Highway 44, and Hosur is around 40 kilometers from Bangalore. And this is a hub where a lot of other peoples are also having their base, like TVS is there, and there are a lot of other people which I will be discussing in my next slide. So you can see here in yellow, Avigna Industrial Park is the opportunity what I am talking about. I will give you more detail. So now the prominent tenants in the vicinity where this logistic hub is located, you can see Aditya Birla is there, TVS is there, Flipkart, Amazon. So you can see all the who's who of the industries are there. So the moment you understand these big guys are there, so it means the place has that kind of notional value where all the big players are there. So investment is in the safe zone. Now let's talk about the asset. So basically this particular asset is in 79 acres of land, where the construction area of warehouse is grade A, and the total area is around 10.6 lakh square feet. Out of the 10.6 lakh, the area what we are talking about is B3. It's basically here you can see on the right hand side, and this particular B3, the measurement is around 8 acres, and the conversion is around 2.5 lakh square feet. So the top tenant who will be coming to this will be occupying the place by December 2020. Now this is a warehouse B3. So it has got 19 loading bays. It will be basically PEB structures, and the most importantly, it will be done by Tata Consulting Engineering (TCE), and the company gives 25-year warranty on the steel structure and 30 years roof stability. If you can see, I was talking about 15 years is the leasing, and whereas the company is giving 25 years warranty. And since Tata is there as a PEB, so we can be rest assured the kind of quality what we are getting is world class, and that is what is required for grade A basically warehousing. Now, if you talk from asset partners overview, these are the two people. The asset builder is basically Avigna Ventures. People from Chennai must be knowing them. These are the basically 45 years old group from Chennai, and the MD is Mr. Rajashekharan. And the group is basically into textile, and now they are essentially expanding into commercial and real estate also. And apart from that, they are into logistic park. And currently, they have a 20 million square feet of build-to-suit project in its pipeline, which they'll be converting in next 5 years. And the construction will be done by Tata. And Tata is known; they've already done a lot of projects, and they are known for their quality. So as far as quality is concerned, the project is in safe hand, along with the builder as well as the consultant. Now, if you talk about the consultant who is going to basically take the property, so the consultant and the property is basically will be taken by Stellar Value Chain. Now, Stellar Value Chain is the fastest growing logistic player. They have got a fleet of around 2,000 trucks currently, and they operate in 30 cities. And their client includes the biggies like Walmart, Dr. Reddy's, Biocon, Mylan, Nestle, etc. The most important thing about this group is they've got a clear-cut vision, and it's only 4-year previously founded company, but they've got a vision where they want to invest in around $125 billion, and it's basically US private fund equity firm Wogba Pincus. They are the one who are backing this group, and the warehousing facility what they're looking for is 5 million square feet to 50 million square feet by 2025. So you can just see the credibility is what these guys are having. And if you see on the right hand side the lease terms, so lease commencement will start from December 2020, monthly rental will be 15.5 per square feet, which as far as grade A warehousing tenant is concerned is very, very good, because everything has been taken care into this maintenance and all other activities. And escalation is again very good, 5% per year, means 15% every 3 years the escalation will be there. It means that whatever the percentage you are starting as a rent will be escalated every 3 years by 15%. And the lock-in period, which is very, very important, is 9 years in this case, and the overall lease period is 15 years. So you can see when you talk about grade A people, and it is again a build to suit property. When we talk about build to suit property, so generally when a person is occupying build to suit property, so they don't live in 15 years also, they will basically carry out for next 25 years also. Now, if you see in short period of time, Stellar has grown as one of the India's largest TPL, which is called as third party logistics. So here are some of the graph, which I'm not going in much detail, but I will share this presentation. So whatever is there, you can see. Now important is the rent escalation part, which we are talking about. So December 2020, the lease will start, but for the early investor, the lease will start in October 2020 only. And every 3 years, the escalation will be happening of 15%. So 23 will be December 23 will the first escalation, 26, and then 29, and the exit time. So if you can see, every 3 years you will be having an escalation where the lease period is 15 years and the 9 year is a lock-in period. So you can see this kind of growth. So here you can see 1.5% is a rental top-up. So the pre-investor who are coming in this month only will be getting that extra 1.5%, which makes it 10.12, and the exit will be around 15%. So if you can see, the asset has a contractual 15% escalation every year. So it means the person who are having invested will get escalation every 3 years. It means the value of the property, the capital increase, will also be happening every 3 years. And to understand what is the value and what is the NAV, every 6 months the operator basically releases the data where it shows the money what you have invested now and the current value of the investment. Now when we talk about the investment breakup, धंधे की बात जिसको बोलते हैं ना, so it is here. So gross price is 51.9 CR, then stamp duty is there, then registration is there, acquisition fees, then lease, stamp duty, legal fees. So the net purchase what you can see is 54 CR. Now out of this 54 CR, this is the complete investment breakup for 2.5 lakh square feet of area. Now this is something what we are talking about. Let's say conservative 5% growth, what is there in the agreement, what we take that also. So expected IRR will be 13.9%, and if you just increase the growth by 2%, the expected IRR will be 15.4%. So 10% is on the very, very higher side, which will be around 18%. But if I see this also 15, which is a very good number to take an exit. Now, most important thing, हमें क्यों करना है? Why are we investing? So there are certain things which we have pointed out. I would like to reiterate it again. So the yields in warehousing is highest, as and not in warehousing, but the property. There are a lot of warehouses which are available, but when we talk about the grade A warehouse, which is basically maintained by proper third-party logistics, proper investors, and proper people are there who manages and professional people, then the yields are much higher because the tenant will be of grade A and the yield will be higher. Second is the important is the strategic location. So if you see, this is the Bangalore itself is a major manufacturing hub, and that too in Bangalore. If you see, the Hosur is the area which is basically prominently known as manufacturing hub, and a lot of people, like in earlier side also we have seen Amazon is there, then TVS is there, Flipkart is there. There are a lot of biggies are there who are already having their warehouses. So all the infrastructure is ready over there, and here also we are just acquiring 1/4 of whatever is available over there. So again, there are a lot of other players are also there. And most important thing is long-term tier 1 tenant. This is very, very important as far as warehousing is concerned. When we say long-term not doesn't mean 5 years, 3 years, or 7 years. It means more than 10 years as far as warehousing is concerned. Still, I would say what I've told you last time, you should basically rotate your money in every 3 to 5 years, and 3 years as per me, which I will show in the coming slide also. Now, this is basically the investment terms for pre-booked investor. So when we talk about fractional ownership, this is, now you can understand 52 crores of property, sorry, 54 crores of property, where we can also become a fractional owner by investing just merely 25 lakhs. And the kind of currently the offer is going on where we can get a rental top of 1.5%. So it basically becomes 10.12%. And currently to book this thing, we have to just commit 5% at this point of time, and rest will be basically taken in 1 or 2 tranches once the lockdown opens, probably in the month of end June or first week of July. And if you have seen in the investment, the investor will start getting the rental from December 2020, but people who are booking currently in the month of May, they will be getting 2 months bonus. It means they will be getting the investment from October 2020. The rental will be starting from October 2020. And let's talk about how the structure will be. So it's a very clear and transparent structure where we are investor are there on the top. SP will be made, SPV, and then escrow agent and trustees are there. Then securities in the form of SPV and NCDs will be allotted, and the asset managers is there who is going to manage the asset. So it's a complete cycle. I can explain you in much detail about this. Now, most important thing, what is in for me? Now, this is what I understand. There are some people who would like to invest on their own, but there will be some people who would like to get invested from their clients, from their friends, relatives. So for all those things, we will be providing them 1.5% of the invested amount. So on the basic of 25 lakhs, whatever they are investing, so out of that 1.5% will be shared with the FinPro family. But there is one more thing which I would like to share. As you know, FinPro is a family and definitely would like to do something extra. So for the month of May, whosoever is going to get the investment, 0.25% will be extra. So instead of 1.5, it will be basically 1.75% of the incentive which will be shared only for the month of May. So I would like to thank you for patiently hearing my presentation, and now I'm open for any questions.
टेन्शन येत आहे काय?
Thank you, Vijay ji. Thank you very much for the to the point informative presentation. Now the floor is open to all the members for asking direct question on today's presentations. And after this question answer session is over, then we will move on to the collaboration session. And I'm yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, Sanjay.
Vijay ji, Pratik Toshniwal.
Yeah, Pratik.
Yeah, so Vijay ji, just wanted to understand, you at the last slide of the presentation or before the slide, you said that the minimum investment can be 25 lakhs also.
Right, right.
So suppose I have a client who wants to invest in the warehousing thing, the fractional ownership part.
Right.
So what is the rent that he will get? One, and second is the rent you said will start from December or October, because on the slide it was written October.
Yeah, so I'll tell you. So there are two parts, Pratik. Thank you, and you have asked a very good question, first of all. So it will basically clear the doubt of most of the people. So in the slide, if you see, it has been shown as December 2020. First, I'll talk about the rent part, and then I'll talk about the rental yield part. So rent will start from December 2020, but people for those people who are committing in the month of May by paying 5%, for those people, they will be getting 2 months extra rental in advance, and for them, the rental will start from October 2020. That is the first thing. Apart from that, they will get a bonus of 1.5% as rental yield, where the actual rental will be 10.12% per annum.
Okay. So say suppose on 25 lakhs, 10.12% is the annual yield.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Sanjay,
So Vijay ji, if the client was invested the money
And
Yeah.
suppose after 2 or 3 years you want to exit.
Yeah.
Is there any exit route is there, and what is the clause is there?
Yes. So there are multiple exit route, Deepak. First of all, again, a very good question which I have purposefully not taken in my presentation. I just wanted to see kitne log so rahe aur kitne log jag rahe hain. And thank you for asking this question. Sorry, on the lighter note. So basically, the lock-in period is 6 months. In any of the contract of this kind of thing, the lock-in period is normally 3 to 4 years. But here, since we have got a very good understanding with the operator, so we have got a lock-in period of only 6 months. And after that, they have got a route where either they can sell it directly, because in the ownership is in form of the NCDs, so they can directly sell it to their friends or family, or they can take the help of the operator, where we can also help them. But in that case, we'll be charging 10% on the overall transaction fees. Whatever the extra money they have got, so 10% will be charged.
Okay.
Vijay, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Sanjay here.
Yes, Sanjay.
Sir, suppose I like the IRR and all those things, because other than the monthly rental yield,
Yeah.
we also are talking about the value appreciation, because I understand that after 3 years, when the escalation comes into effect, obviously the property's price, if somebody is selling, then it will be higher.
Yeah.
So at the same time, you mentioned that though it's a 15-year agreement, you said you in 3 to 5 years you should rotate the money. So how it works? Whether the entire asset will be sold, or I have to sell only my fractional share?
Okay, again, a very good question. So in the presentation also I have mentioned that the money should be rotated every 3 years. So here also what you can do is you have parked, let's say example, you have parked 1 CR over there, and out of that 1 CR already in the terms of 3 years, we have already got around 30% returns. And when we say 30% return, that is a rental yield, but the property will also appreciate. And if you see the clause, the escalation clause is already 5%. It means by default the property is appreciating by 5%, but when we see the market condition, property always appreciates more than the market condition. And as I've said, around 7% per year the market will the property will appreciate. So yes, you can basically do exit of the 3 years, because the property will not sold, because it is basically in the form of debentures. So you don't have to sell the property. Your share will be sold and transferred in someone else's name. Because the property is leased for 15 years. So the leasee and the operator both will be there. Hope I have able to answer your question correctly.
Vijay,
Yes, sir.
you said this is a non-convertible debenture.
Yes, sir.
How do I sell this non-convertible debenture unless it is listed?
Sir,
No, Vijayji, I think I have seen this presentation. Presentation is mentioned as CCD, not NCD.
Okay,
So
sorry.
you're using the wrong tenure.
Yes,
CCD.
so I'm so sorry. So you should, apologize for this being a non-financial background. So it's basically CCD, not NCD. So sorry, and thanks for rightly pointing out, because throughout my presentation I mentioned CCD, but it's basically NCD.
No.
Yeah,
You
Vijayji,
mentioned
hello.
it's actually CCD.
Yeah, it's NCD.
Vijayji, hello. This is Aditya.
Yes, sir.
Very nice presentation, very relevant in today's COVID times.
Thank
So
you.
I think I missed the point on the transfer of ownership. So I was assuming that this is the title being transferred of the property. So I mean, or is it in the form of debentures?
So if you see, the SPV has been created, Aditya, and in that SPV you are basically a shareholder, fractional shareholder. So basically the title will remain with the company, the SPV. Your share will be basically transferred in some other name when you are selling your fractional ownership.
Okay, so you become like a shareholder or a debenture.
Yes. So title will be there with the company. We are not selling the company. I think Sanjay ji wanted to ask some questions. Sanjay Israni ji. Yes, Sanjay ji.
Yeah, Vijay ji, thank you. Good presentation. Just a couple of questions. One is that this entire SPV structure is there, and we will be investors through an NCD route, I guess, initially,
right,
or through a CCD route or something like that.
Right.
So you're basically NCD means it's a debt instrument, and there will be a coupon rate on which you'll get your entire return.
Okay.
Okay, that's typically an NCD, the way NCDs are structured. If it's I don't know, if it's a CCD, then it's a convertible debenture.
Okay. So I think I was aware that this is something which I will not be able to handle. So I have requested Sanjay Bhandari and I shared the presentation with him. So Sanjay, for this particular point, I will definitely require your
No,
help.
no, this is CCD only. The whole idea is you also get the so because of CCD you become actually a equity owner. NCD mein you only it's lending. It's not a equity
Right, right.
ownership. So
So
it's a
somewhere
pure
I think
CCD. No, it's pure CCD. And also one thing which Vijay mentioned missed actually, I think there is a plan to for the entire company to exit from this property between first escalation and second escalation. So that be
Yeah.
the point where they would like to capture the appreciation in the price, and that's
Okay.
how the overall IRR of around 16 to 17% can be generated. So that plan is already there, part of the overall investment of 54 crore.
Yes, yes, yes.
So there are two investment philosophy. One is the rental yield and another is the price appreciation.
Yes.
So you need not worry about selling your share. You can hold back for 3 to 5 years, and by that time the entire SPV company will be sold to a large fund basically.
Yes.
Okay, so they will start with a debenture structure, then convert it into equity, and then sell
They
it
will
off.
not convert into equity. There is no need of converting the equity. The same CCD can be then sold to the any fund at the end of 5 years or 3 years or whatever after the
Okay,
price negotiation.
so either you convert or you know
Why
continue with the
somebody is
CCD depending
converting,
on
then he cannot claim the monthly rental, na? So nobody will convert it. They will continue as a CCD. The CCD will have coupon of this 10%.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sanjay ji, for handling this part, because I was aware this is something which is not I will not be able to handle this part. Yeah.
Yeah, but then the post tax, because considering that we fall in the 30% slab, post
that
tax
is
will come to
your
around 7%. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so in like any other interest bearing instrument.
सर वो तो
Right.
कहीं भी इन्वेस्टमेंट करोगे तो आपको देना ही है ना. You cannot run away from that. It's a
No,
real
because then the issue is that if you're getting 10% or so and you consider post tax 7%, then you have to consider the risk involved and all that other thing.
Yeah. That
Whether
is
there are
everybody.
comparable instruments, which give you say 7.5% without the risk.
Okay, Sanjay ji, I would
this is not just a rental yield. This is also about the real estate price appreciation. Also, you have to consider.
So, Sanjay ji, let me answer. Okay, let me answer in this way. You are not basically investing into CCD. You are basically investing into real estate property. Basically, that is a warehouse. So it is basically because of fractional ownership. This NCD and CCD are coming into picture. Otherwise, from my perspective, it's purely a warehouse. It's a purely a hardcore real estate where the investment is going. Only thing is just to break the cost. We are going through fractional ownership model. That's it. Otherwise, it's
right. That I understand.
Yeah. So everything else will be the same. Like you will get the price appreciation, you will get the rental also, which you normally get in offices and all those things. That will be there itself. Don't worry about that.
Vijay,
Hanji sir.
Actually, what you are saying is the reverse. We are not investing in the real estate because there is no title, there is no transfer of ownerships, and I have no right to do anything with the property. It's done by the manager and the SPV. What I have invested is like a shareholder. I hold the CCD paper.
But okay, so the thing is,
whenever the company SPV goes out of business or sells it off,
let me explain.
Cash my business profits.
Let me explain. So whatever real estate transaction till now we have done, we have already created SPV. Where why SPV is created? Because SPV is a very, very simple model where other people can come very easily, and there is no liability of prior assets and all those things or any other thing. So typically in a SPV model, all the people comes together, and SPV is basically buying a piece of land, and we are definitely investing in SPV, but ultimately where SPV is investing is in land only. They are not investing in any other thing, and this is SPV is clearly defined to purchase this particular thing. The AOA and MOA of the company clearly state that this particular SPV is created for investing in this particular warehouse only. That's it. So they cannot divert or they cannot do any other thing apart from investing in that particular property.
Vijay, sorry to differ. This is not a pass-through vehicle. This SPV is not a pass-through vehicle. So you are stuck with a particular investment and you are there.
Sir, Shivram Krishnan ji, there are two ways to look at any investment opportunity.
Okay.
One is the legal angle of looking at it. Another is the underlying investment, like from income perspective. So what Vijay is talking as an entrepreneur from return perspective, what you are talking is from legal perspective. That's the reason I can see this thought process which is going in different direction.
I got it. Okay, it's all right.
So he is purely talking from the entrepreneur perspective that I am putting my money So I'm not putting my money into debt instrument or this thing.
Correct.
I'm actually expecting a real estate appreciation, and that's what is driving my decision.
And that particular asset is in front of me. It's not like that it is something somewhere where I am not able to see, because there I'm able to see my asset also.
I want to tell you something very interesting here.
Yeah. I think Sanjay ji has got a question.
Yeah,
Sure, you
just
will
want
take-
to. Just one thing. Is there any expected levels of appreciation as far as the property is concerned?
Is it
So
so?
that is.
So yeah, so I'll tell you, if you see there 5% appreciation escalation clause is there every year, which will basically transform into.
No, that is on the rental, right?
So I'm saying
typically
that's
that
what
is
I'm saying.
rental. I'm on the appreciation of the real estate.
I am coming to that also. So if you see, Sanjay, typically the rent escalation is taken based on the escalation of the property also. And if you see, the rent escalation is always on the lower side as far as properties is considered. And if you see
Right.
post-COVID area, a lot of focus will be there on the warehousing, and I'm sure this particular sector will be going to increase not by 5%, but around 7%. So that's why I've told in my presentation also. So I've taken different scenario, but I said 7% is something which I see on year basis. It will happen.
Vijay, what you are saying is, other than the rental appreciation,
Yeah,
there will be
property
a price
appreciation.
appreciation. So when you sell, so right now you're acquiring for 54 crore.
Right.
So suppose there is a 7% per annum appreciation, that means around 20-25%
21%.
appreciation at the end of
Right.
3 years.
3 years.
And if you end of 5 years, around 35%. So roughly this 54 crore property will be sold for around 70-75 crore, and that money will profit part will come when the property is sold. Basically.
Correct.
That
And
is
you can say,
over and above this rental yield.
yeah. So if you see in 3 years, you are getting around 50% of yield if you see in that way. Returns जो हम बोलते हैं ना, ROI, which is actually good ROI.
JJ, this is Denny here.
Yeah,
Sanjay,
Danny.
Yeah, I have a doubt. Like when we transfer the ownership, is there is any clause like can I transfer whoever I want to, or there is any clause where that